Welcome, Eddystone.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.
Very good. You are a leading voice in this world of health optimizing. Can you tell how did the journey of Touchstone Essentials begin?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So for those that I haven't had the luxury of meeting before, I'm 61 years old, and for me, this has really been my entire career, at least sort of kind of leading up to this moment. In my mid 20s, I found the field of nutrition. I was really fascinated by the role that supplements can play in bridging the gap between, where most of us are with our health habits versus where we want to be or where we intend, right? We probably all wake up with a pretty good idea of what we should eat and not eat, and exercise and sleep. But man, life gets so busy and gets in the way. So it really can have an impact. And so for most people, the research says they're going to bed short of all the nutrition that they need for proper function, proper health, digestion, immune system, all these things impact risk of disease, quality of sleep or energy levels. It can even impact longevity. And so it's something that I have always found fascinating. But it's one of those types of areas that when you really get into the research, you recognize the importance of foods and how much more beneficial they can be than just simply taking isolated substances. And so, like vitamin C, for example, which we know has benefits, but if you can take vitamin C in its whole form, its whole compound form found in food, your body's ability to absorb it, use it just far greater. And you don't have to be a scientist to know that stuff is important. The challenge is that what's available for most people to eat are processed foods, and they're convenient and they can taste good. You can kind of understand in a really busy world, why people are eating so much stuff that really falls into that category. I think in the U.S., we get nicknamed a fast food nation. I don't think that's a compliment. And we look at the volume of calories being consumed, upwards of 90% are coming from ultra processed foods that just don't have the same nutrients as fruits and vegetables. And so as my journey went on, I really began to focus on using whole fruits and vegetables, and ultimately started Touchstone Essentials in 2012, completely focused on using whole food compounds to make our products. And so whether that's our greens product, actually a great tasting greens product without
Very
sugar,
good.
those are hard to find. 44 different organic ingredients and so many benefits, right? You don't even have to be a doctor to know that greens are important, and most people don't get enough of them, right? They just don't care for them. And so we have a concept, right, of supporting people's efforts to detoxify the body, heavy metals, environmental pollutants, and put the good stuff back in with clean products that are convenient and taste well. And so that's the journey. We started this company, as I mentioned, in 2012, and have just enjoyed just incredible, global success because people really gravitate to these things. They feel better, they sleep better, and that's what's important, right? And it's principally driven by the word of mouth of good folks like Linda, who enjoy sharing the products. And so that's what we do, and that's how we're making our mark on the world.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Because many are very stressed and have a low energy. This product, I know them help.
Yeah. Well, if you just consider, a lot of people always lean on caffeine, which caffeine's a stimulant and can certainly give you some energy, but that isn't always the answer, right? The body needs something to work with. And if you were to think about what most people are eating day in and day out, they're not giving their body a lot to work with, right? A lot of macro carbs and fats and proteins, but not as much nutrients as they need. And just amazing if you'll pair good nutrition, a little more water, a little bit of movement. I'm not talking about being a bodybuilder, but a little bit of movement. You're paying a little bit of attention to your sleep, just how quickly you feel better and more energetic, right? Which can lead to just all kinds of things for health futures.
Yeah. What would you say is the most important thing about everything this company does?
Well, I think what our customers believe is the most important, or the key component of what we do, is our commitment to the quality of the products. And so the sourcing of the fruits and the vegetables, utilizing organic sources, organic certifications, and things of that nature, and then making sure we put them together, right? They're not high heated or overheated so that they're denatured, that the combinations are effective, but that they are clean, no dyes, fillers, any non-natural substances, or even isolated compounds, right? These are all whole extracts, whole foods. And so I think that that is most important in terms of delivering to the public what they come to us to buy, and doing that over and over again. And I'm proud we've got, I think, 40,000 5-star reviews that had a real positive impact. And so all of those things have contributed to our story and our success, and then give people strategy, right? It's not just providing the products, but recognizing that people want to know, low encouragement, where should I start, right? Detoxification is great, but you start with natural minerals that do that, and then put the good stuff back into your body. And I think that's our big contribution we can make.
Yeah. When people start using Touchstone products like PBX Zeolite, what are some of the surprising things that tend to come up during detox?
Well, for a lot of people, one thing they don't think about is the body burden associated with toxins, right?
Yeah.
Just think about if you have an automobile, right? You never pay attention to changing the oil filter or the air filter. The car's performance falls off, right? It doesn't work as well as it used to until you change those things and tune it up.
Yeah.
Body really is the same. But if you're not paying attention to supporting with food, with lifestyle, how your body manages things like toxins, right? You're just not going to feel as well. And so for most people, when they start to consider these things, making some better choices, using the products, they'll report back, hey, I just have more energy, right? It's kind of one of those first statements. I just have more energy, less brain fog, which I don't think is a medical term, but I think we all know what brain fog is, and that they're sleeping better. Yeah. All of those things would contribute to not just your performance and your energy, but really improving the functions of, say, your immune system and other health-related issues. And so there's a whole cascade of benefits that start, but they're just the common sense of, getting the bad stuff out, putting the good stuff in, right? Energy improves, and it all kind of goes from there.
Yeah. Is it true that the zeolite is as a magnet for toxins?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it. If you look at heavy metals, things like cadmium, lead, mercury, sort of things in that category, they have what's called a positive charge. And the zeolite we use, which is a natural zeolite called clinoptilolite, it has a cage-like structure, and that cage, it has a negative charge. And so a lot like how the north end of a magnet, the south end of a magnet, when they combine or get near each other, they'll sort of snap together. Same dynamic. And since the body doesn't have any, we don't call zeolites as essential minerals. And so since the body won't house or keep it, those toxins it's bound with evacuate out of the body, and just one of your normal renal and bowel functions. It's really a quite elegant and simple way to support detoxification.
Yeah. Wow. When was the first time you saw its effects in action? And what convinced you this was a true game changer?
Yeah. I was first introduced to zeolites in 2005.
Yeah.
And obviously Touchstone Essentials didn't exist at the time, but I really saw the potential in some form or fashions. I've always, since first exposed to it, tried to find products to use because I did believe it's something that could support good health. The challenge was finding a good source. In our case, we think it's important where we get it from. So all of our zeolite comes from the United States. The sourcing is checked for both safety as well as its cleanliness and purity, and things of that kind. Then we have a proprietary process where we process it to make the cages more bioavailable and more effective. And so it's sort of our secret sauce. And so we launched the product in 2012 and quickly found a lot of fans. And so I've had my, I've kind of been around zeolites for a couple of decades, but it's exciting now that just every day people can go buy something that's both cost effective and has all those attributes to clean your body.
Wow. What about fulvic? Why do we need this product with minerals and all?
Yeah, most of us, just going back to our discussion about ultra processed foods, most of us probably recognize we're not getting all the nutrients we need, right? Your meal's coming to you through a drive-through window. You're just looking for satisfaction, and you probably understand, hey, this may not be the best. And so just as you're short on vitamins or nutrients, we call it, we can also refer to minerals as having nutritional qualities or nutrient qualities, right? It's important. You have to have minerals for your body to function properly. And so most people just don't get what they need. Fulvic, which is a plant based material, when you process it, yields these really great array of minerals that the body, because they've been pre-digested from a plant, utilize more effectively.
Yeah.
And so we have an organic source. It's a great bog environment up in Canada that we harvest ours out of.
Mhm.
And it's just a great way to supply the body. We also use some minerals that are found in seaweed
Mhm.
from a great source. And so it's a very strong profile with the other nutrients you find in fulvic. And we combine it with a little bit of zeolite. So it's really kind of three things in one, and one of our most popular products.
Yeah. Do you think everybody need this detoxing in this society with all the poison and so?
Well, I haven't met anybody yet that didn't tell me that they thought they needed it or describe a lifestyle to suggest that they need it. And so I'm pretty convinced everybody needs this. There may be that rare person that's got that perfect diet and lifestyle, but I think we can say most people need this.
What about animals, kids, pregnant?
Well, all I can really speak to, one is in the literature. There's a lot of discussion about zeolites being beneficial and found in pet products. And so we know that's a positive sign. And there's some research on PubMed about that. I know a lot of people that give their products to their pets and animals and report positively. So, I don't know about your household, but in my household, the dog eats better, I think, than we do.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for most people.
Yeah. What about this with the quick fixes versus a process?
Yeah, I'm a big believer that you can't just put a Band-Aid on things. And so it's important to think about and consider nutrition. So we've got our greens product, super green juice, but also organic super protein and organic super fiber. All of these are incredibly beneficial and just a part of having a diet that supplies and gives you all the nutrients that you need.
Yeah. Wow. You have so much wisdom. It has been so good to listen to you.
I've been around it a long time.
Yeah, you're really expert. But there's a lot of confusion about aluminium in zeolite. What can you say about this? Is it in it or is it safe?
Yeah, there's no free aluminum in the zeolite. So the zeolite is a cage-like structure, and aluminum is just a part of its cage, but it isn't available to the body. So there's no research or there's nothing out there to suggest that that's a challenge. It doesn't stay in the body system. There's nothing out there that would show that. The zeolite clinoptilolite that we used actually has GRAS status from the FDA, means recognized as safe with no contraindications. And so that's not really something that we have concern. I think people see the structure and don't quite understand how that works, but it's not something available to the body.
Yeah, because I have a big health group on Facebook with people with a lot of issues, and they, for example, can say, just Google zeolite and you see how dangerous it is, they wrote. And I have said, wait, now will Eddie explain here to you how it is.
I encourage people to do their research, but if you look at the literature published by the U.S. governments all over Europe, in academic universities, Asia, we just know that naturally mined clinoptilolite is safe and carries no contraindications. And so there's nothing out there that gives me pause. I tell people if you've got a special disease condition, always talk to a physician. But for the general public, based upon federal regulations and other things, it's safe and quite beneficial.
Yeah. Why is it important to use both types of the detox? Like you have this spray and this for the gut?
Yeah, so the spray is a nano-sized product. And so that it really makes its way into your cell system. You've got 100 trillion plus cells in your body, right? And getting there is easy to do.
Yeah.
The regular particle size is larger. And so it's going to primarily stay in the gut because it's not small enough to migrate out of the gut tissue into the bloodstream, which is really what happens with our nano products. So it's two strategies. One is a total body cellular detox. The other is a gut detox.
Okay, wonderful. How does zeolite work in the body, and how is it eliminated?
Right. So and I think we talked a little bit about this, but because it's not an essential mineral, the body won't hold on to it. There's no repository or way for it to stay there. And how it works is simply by proximity. As it's floating and moving through the body, coming into proximity to heavy metals, volatile organics, other environmental pollutants, they're either gathering on its structure, almost like a snowball, very small snowball, or they're getting inside of its cage. And so its effectiveness, it's almost like a broom or sweeping exercise as it's moving through the body, collecting all of these toxins, right, and evacuating through normal and renal and bowel function.
Wow. How can we be sure that zeolite only flushes out harmful substances and doesn't remove beneficial minerals?
We have, on our shop pages, we have a lot of scientific data. People can go look at the papers, but there are no peer-reviewed journals or papers out there through the ages to suggest that it has a negative impact on the electrolytes or the good minerals in the body. It just simply doesn't have an affinity for them. And so there's nothing to suggest that that's actually a concern.
Okay, wow. The ultimate product. If you could create the ultimate health product, combining all your knowing, what would it look like? And what's next for Touchstone?
Well, the ultimate product is a combination of things. There's no way to make one massive pill or drink, right, to do all of these things and support the body in different ways.
Yes.
And so for us, it's the combination of detox, getting the bad stuff out, putting the good stuff in. And we're just going to continue to do that with our future. In the early part of 2025, we have a parasite support cleansing product coming out. We're quite excited about a series of natural herbs that will support how the body manages parasites, essentially making you an inhospitable host, which is sort of the way you want to manage parasites. And people don't really realize the role parasites can play in negative impacts on health and vulnerability to disease. And so we think it's important to have a tool out there for people with those particular concerns. And then later on in 2025, the late part of the spring, we have a anti-aging product coming out. Can't give a lot of details now, but it's a product that supports the health of your telomere. Telomeres are an endpoint on your DNA strand that provides the data and instructions on how to replicate a cell. Essentially, as we get older and that function is lost, we get old and are vulnerable to disease and death. And so it really can impact both the quality of health as you age, as well as, we hope, and there's a lot of scientists that believe, if you can impact the health of the telomere with the production of telomerase, which is what our product will do, that might live longer, right?
Wow.
There seems to be an elusive number of about 120 if all things are perfect. Of course, I don't know how many people live a perfect life and a perfect DNA to do that, but there's a chance, right, to maybe go beyond that. And so that's fun to think about. My own use of the product in samples and testing and some others is just the level of energy that's returned, not based upon using a stimulant. So kind of think about recapturing some of your youth, right? That's the goal.
Wow. What about the price and what about, how do you know this is so good? Is it a really big expert or something behind it?
Yeah, we have a lot of scientific data supporting the work. We work with an expert named Dr. Bill Andrews, brilliant anti-aging scientist, is maybe as strong a scientific voice as you have in that field, well published and just marvelous. So he's on our team. He's a member of our scientific board of advisors, playing a critical role. And so just like all the things we do, right, we'll just continue to look at the research, be guided by science when we produce the products. And, that's how you're doing the right things, right? Utilize the science, right? No guesswork, do the testing.
Wow. Thank you, Eddie. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Linda. Very nice. Nice to chat with everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.